Alright, so Assalamu alaikum to Asim and anyone who's watching this video. So this is the video presentation for our SCI final group project, Inclusivity in Design Interfaces, Dawaai app. We have chosen Dawaai app as our case study app. So this is the overview. Group members. I am Muhammad Abib Khan and I will be representing I'll be presenting this presentation on behalf of my group members whose names and seat numbers are mentioned here. Alright, so phase one, field studies. Sample number of users and contexts. So in short, we selected four different users from different technical backgrounds and age groups to maintain diversity in our sample. One was under 18, two were from the age groups of 18 to 30, and one was 50 to 60 from the age groups of 50 to 60. A supporting questionnaire was handed out to users, some people other than those four users, uh, to support our design decisions, etc. All right, so identifying user problems, data collection, and methods. So always three or four main problems were identified with the UI of the application. First one was some of the main important functionality on the main dashboard was hidden in the scrollable area on even larger phone and devices. So which and overall the layout of the dashboard was kind of confusing. The search system was lackluster and the whole colors and icons infographics was washed out and looked bland. We will look into it more when we'll be looking at the UIs. So how did we find these problems? We used a combination of interviews and task-based observation on the four main people on the four main users that we studied. So we studied their behavior patterns while we assigned them some tasks to perform, and like the fourth user, the 50 to 60 age group, that was my mother, and and I looked at the points where she got stuck and needed help to move forward to perform the task, and we noted that those points down, and those helped us to improve the to redesign the application. And also, like I mentioned, a survey was carried out. So current interface and utilization and improvement opportunities. So the dashboard, that was the main problem with me and us. So for us, so it was a styled design. Okay, so the dashboard used a style design, and what it did, that it buried some important functionality of the application deep inside, uh, in the scrollable area. It hid it inside, and even on mobiles like this big. So yeah, it like this is a big phone, 6.8 inches. It is bigger than most phones today, or kind of big than the standard. So yeah, so some important functionality was hidden inside in this area. So yeah, that was problematic, and the whole UI of the dashboard was confusing, and navigation, etc., to the other functionality of the application. And fun fact, the decision, the idea that we decided to uh, the interface that we decided how we will change it was tab-based interface on the bottom of the dashboard to navigate to different functionality of the application, which was already being used in some of the screens of the application, like online consultation. So we'll be showing you everything, but we decided to use that ideology, but with certain modifications. So proposed model for redesign. So this going to be a just it's going to be done with a single model. So we decided to use a combination of four models. Task model, which we already discussed in some capacity earlier. We gave tasks to our four main users and observed what kind of changes we can do to make to make them achieve their goals easily. And then usability model, we this is already at a milestone for this project. We have to evaluate our final interface, and this is what the usability model does. It is basically saying you use certain methods and techniques for the evaluation of your final interface, and before it is launched. So we will be just doing that and the final phase also. And consumption model is basically a high level overview of your application, how everything will play out, and you make sure that what the whole application is what the user expects with the application. So it reduces cognitive load and confusion as a result. and it also deals with how the user will be interacting, etc. And you may say, "Well, now what the interaction model does, if conception model deals with this thing." So basically it decides on how uh, a user may interact. Is it through what we studied in class? Is it through exploring? Is it through manipulation? Is it through conversing? Or is it through interaction, instructing? So these are the four main ways you can interact with an application. And what interaction model does is you basically expand upon the your preferred way of interaction in the interaction model. Like you need, for example, on touch based interface you use manipulation, okay, but for example, if you are designing an application for the elderly, you want your touch interface to be simple, not the fancy stuff, not the swipes and everything. You just want everything to be simple taps. So yeah, that's an example of how you utilize interaction models so that everything is predictable and works in a flow state. So yeah, all these four models were we decided to use in combination to redesign the Dawaai app application. Alright, so phase two, design and evaluation. Running prototype, novel idea, and reasons for design. Sorry. So we were asked to design the application for different users. The different type of users. These included disabled people, illiterate people, elderly people, and so we decided to combine and cater the all of these different users needs into a single solution. And we also made, even though we didn't have a test, uh, we didn't have a person to study on for the disabled people uh, needs, but we made sure to do a research and study and to include their requirements and needs into our application. And one example is that the most common type of disability is color blindness, and we made sure to select the color palette of the application in a manner that which is color blind friendly. For example, uh, you never use red, green, and brown together, because to most type of color blindness, uh, they appear the same shade of brown, so you never use that. Yeah, because for example, a button may be a red on a brown background, but most of the colorblind people may have a hard time finding that button because they can't differentiate their button based on the color. So you select colors that make them differentiated easily. We designed the prototype using Figma, a popular tool, and like we discussed, the tile based interface caused problems on the dashboard, so we used a full tab based interface on the bottom of the dashboard. We used lively colored icons and infographics and colors instead of the bland and washed out ones that the original design used. And we'll be walking through the application and discussing it more in detail. Actually short on time. I actually recorded our original video of around 40 minutes, so I will also be uploading that. But right now I'll just shorten it down to hit the 10-minute mark. So yeah, evaluation method. We did the evaluation using Nielsen and normal stand usability heuristics, and we consolidated our findings in the official workbook that is also attached. We'll be discussing that as well. And questionnaire. We designed a questionnaire to complement our design choices, etc., and help evaluate a new design compared to the original one. So let's just go over the questionnaire first, then we'll be discussing the prototype, etc. Questionnaire. So questionnaire, the first question was basically what is you belong to. So we have the data here. What is the if you belong to the field of medical sciences? This was asked due to a question I will just discuss later on. What technical ability you possess in operating a modern touch interface like smartphone, etc. So to basically relate it with the age group someone is, and literacy is in English language, because this whole project was done in with reference to mind that's only English based, not Urdu. uh, then your preferred way of searching for an application, like through text-based search, by voice or by image. uh, and then we have the question that, like, the if you don't recall a name or partially remember a medicine name, what type of systematic way would you like to search the directory? So A to Z, simple list. or systematic class that uses advanced medical terminology, or using the illness. So this was one of our ideas that we introduced, that you search the medicine by the illness it cures, because this speaks the language of most common people. And we introduced this, and most people seem to like it. 80%. The 10%, and through the data, we found out that only the medical uh, personnel which belong to the medical field, that's why I asked the question, that they prefer to use a systematic class, and only one other person prefer to use the A to Z index. 80% of the people prefer to use the uh, common way. The through like, if you get cough, you search for the cough medicine. If you get cold, you search for the cold medicine. If you get fever, you search for the fever medicine. You get the idea. So there was a searching interface below, and I asked what changes should we see. Like, I'll show you here. Yeah, this was the thing. You got only recent searches here, and other is blank. Okay, so I asked if you should add current widespread illness in your country, city here, and if you also should add search by category, which is already on some other screen, in this search area as well. So most people seem to like the idea of having both here. Sorry, yeah, here both option B and C should be there. Most people like the idea. No one said that it should no change. Some people said only add suggestions. Some people said both B and C. No one said these two both options. So do you think placing important functionality, this was the option problem I was discussing, that the tile based dashboard hides important functionality of the application in the hidden scrollable area. So I asked this question: do you think that it might lead to users not end up using it or missing this functionality? And no one said yeah. uh, no one said no. Everybody said yes or maybe. So yeah, our decision to move to a tab-based interface is justified by the statistics. That is what I was trying to say. Okay, so this Asan order, we will be discussing more about the Asan order feature later on. So, but basically, the Dawaai app offers a feature, the Asan order, which allows you to upload your prescription and authentic prescription, and real pharmacist on the other end basically sees their prescription, verifies it, and places the order for you. So I asked, do you prefer to automate this process? Like, rather than waiting for a real person's call for confirmation, you just automated process, and let the system, like AI, take out the list from the image, and you see if the list is all right, and then you simply order the medicine yourself. Now, this 80%, all of them are youngsters. 20% they were older people. And with this, I would like to discuss some statistics as well. The most interesting one, because we are short in time. This one, like this is the literacy rate, their proficiency in English, advanced, proficient. Okay, and this is the age groups. And the question asked, we asked were what type of searching we preferred. So you see, 12 to 17, even with basic literacy, they prefer text based. 18 to 24, advanced proficient literacy, they all prefer text based. Even with 20 to 34, same case, they prefer text based searching. But when you come to 60 to 70, 65 to 70 or 75 or older, or even under 12, you start to see search by image, search by voice. And this is what we introduced in app. This was our new idea, that searching by image, medicine packaging or written name, or by voice for disabled people, as this works for disabled people as well. Searching by voice is a great functionality for disabled people, and I'll be repeating these points when I go through the app. But this was an interesting statistic, that most of the what you say in Javan generation prefer this text-based search, because mostly are proficient in and or have advanced English skills. All right, that's about it for the question, I think. Let's just move on to this prototype. And what better way to discuss about the evaluation, heuristic evaluation, and the prototype thing than to pull the application itself. I have a emulator running here, and sorry about that. I have my redesigned application here. I have my emulator here, and I have my heuristic evaluation here. All right, so first of all, usability, visibility of system status. So as you can see, there's no notification center here. Okay, so you need some kind of notification center to house your like promotional offers or even order status or order tracking, etc. So we introduced that here with bell icon and red squiggly telling you how many notification red you have. Okay, match between system and real world, this was a bit hard one to think, but uh, like this asan order feature that we talked about, it is a bit of internal jargon. Like uh, you it is not self-explanatory and you need explanation to do this, but I did not end up changing it from my in my application because uh, it seems illogical to change now. Many users may have already gotten used to it, or it may have already gotten popular, but maybe some other like prescription based order or something, some terminology that fits, that describes the feature itself, might have been better. But I didn't end up changing it because it is a defining characteristic of this application. All right, so user control and freedom, basically this tab based interface allows for more freedom between switching for application. Like if you even you accidentally go somewhere wrong, you can easily switch between interfaces, between different interfaces. Like uh, I'll be discussing more about that, but hold this point for a second. It will automatically explain itself later on. Consistency and standard. Basically, if you see this application right here in the middle, original one, you see order now, book now, book now, book now, these, and then you come there, create order, uh, read now, recreate order tracker. You see, these are all buttons for some sort of definitive tasks, and they should be one color, especially on if you are on a dashboard, yeah, on a singular page. So yeah, that was breaking the internal consistency in my opinion. And yeah, so I changed them to some sort of a shade of orange, which should be the case for such definitive buttons like create order, order now, subscribe. So I changed them to a definitive color and can maintain consistency across internally. All right, so error prevention. So if you if you go here like order now, uh, let me just search for something right now. So if I add it to cart, and if I view my cart here, now if I delete it, it doesn't give you any warning. It just straight up deletes it. So what I did, basically a warning message, delete the item from cart. Are you sure you want to delete it? A bit of a bit of like barrier between directly deleting the application. So yeah, are you sure you want to delete it? Just a warning message. This is my this is what we improved in the error prevention heuristic. Recognition rather than recall. All right, so this is the main one, what I was talking about all this long. If you look at this dashboard, all right, so first of all, you bury these important functionality deep down. This is not nice. You see, this asan order is a defining characteristic of your application. It is a selling point of your app. Basically, this is a good feature, and you are burying it down deep down. Like even the scroll bar appears late. So this is like not, this shouldn't be the case, in short. And also this recreate and track order, these features are only available here, nowhere else, and they bury it deep down. It is not even available in the pharmacy order now. So I pull these features out, and this so they burying the functionality deep down. This is should be not be the case. And also health blocks down there, just sitting there. So this is what the tab-based interface improve. Now pharmacy services, lab test, blog, all are available in your thumb's reach down at the bottom with clearly labeled icons and lively colored images. And this is what they improve. And also now let's talk about added functionality. Now I've brought asan order and also a very good good feature of this application, compounding pharmacy, which is basically your customized medication, like the alteration in the formula. Now I brought that feature outside. Like it should be publicized now. By removing all this nonsense tile based interface here, from here I got the space to even the advertisement without any uh, hiding in it in the scrollable area, and I advertise that compounding pharmacy here with Asan order and Dawaai subscribe plus. So you're getting more here now, and the Y plus it wasn't even publicized properly. So I use this area for better things through there, and tab based interface. Now I have better access of things. I put the recreate order and track order here clearly visible now. It should be, it should be, it belongs here. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Tab based interface improves the whole application by a lot, and now you don't need to get uh, with produce this big style based compounding and Asana order, because you already did that outside. Now you can just have two small options here. Regular size, it's not small, it's still big. And all right, so second one, hamburger menu. This hamburger menu in the original dashboard now, hamburger menus are the uh, they it its characteristic is being pushing recall over recognition, because you you put these options inside, and you need to remember that these functions are stored up in the hamburger menu. So what I've done, that this profile I pushed it outside, is now that the top right corner, and it is clearly visible. So now you can easily access these features from here, and all these features belong here. So you can I haven't designed it completely, but you can see even in Daraz app, all these vouchers and stuff resides inside your profile icon. So I have placed it outside, clearly visible now. So yeah, this all promotes recognition over recall. Or is the flexibility of use, flexibility and efficiency of use. First one, initially we already have search by text. Now what we've done, we have search by image and even search by voice. This is helpful, like we discussed, for disabled people, for older people. This was also just proved by our questionnaire that we carried out. So big plus point for our redesign, I think. Secondly, same thing, by a questionnaire that we designed, A to Z. I have added medicine by illness, a new category to search. Won't be say expanding on this too much, we already did. So basically it's a good addition. Aesthetic and minimalistic design, as you can see, this is first of all bland and washed out colors. So, and icons and infographics are lackluster. So we use lively colors, and overall tab based design makes the application more streamlined, and the whole application is much more lively now. Help users recognize errors, and recover from errors. So yeah, so in Asan order, initially they don't have any automated feature telling you that your image you take is blur. So what we did is, we have two image based things now, search by image, and the Asan order already stays there. So now if you take a blur image, basically here, now you get a warning that image taken is blur automated, and then it also takes you to guidelines if you if you want to see how to take clear images. So this is some, we are helping users recognize and recover from errors here. This is the heuristic then. And help and documentation, surprisingly in the entire application there is no help and documentation available nowhere. So what we did, we add these help icons in pharmacy and services as well. All right, so now some of the functionality that was not discussed in these some of the interfaces that were not discussed using these heuristics, is that you see, uh, initially the doctor consultation is a separate thing. All right, this was what I was discussing earlier, that they're already using this type based interface here. So it doesn't make sense now, okay, they're not using it now. So wait a second. So yeah, so book now doctor is already there, and these are in general services, okay. So this is why, okay, yes, so it's doctors thing and dental services, these are both services of sort. So what I've done, that instead of this scrolling that it nurses deep down again buried, and on top of view you only see dental services, I've combined the online consultation thing with tab based interface. These tabs go upside, and you have home services here and online consultation here, which makes sense together. And then in home services you have dental services and nursing. So I believe this is a good change, because you can clearly see now you have two main offerings here. And the doctor's online consultation and home services, these are also two separate categories that make sense together. Okay, so also now the search system that we were talking about earlier, the thing that we discussed in the questionnaire. Now see what I've done in, we still have recent searches, but as you can see here, let me see, it was already shown to you in the questionnaire image, but you have recent searches here only. But here we have also recent searches, but medicine by current widespread illness and categories are also added here. So yeah, that's about it. We have discussed most of the application, and we have discussed the heuristics here. We have discussed the questionnaire that we prepared and the data that we gathered from here. And yeah, track order, image taking blur. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you.